Hi there, my name is Alex and this is my application for the UTS RVC program, which I'm so excited to be a part of. The main reason that I really want to do this is because it's so linked to not just my personal and professional goals, but my purpose and the kind of person that I want to be. I'm really focusing this year on not limiting my career to trading my time for money. I really feel like doing this course is going to be able to help me unleash my potential as an entrepreneur. I know that to be able to scale the impact that I can have on the world and help more people, I need to be able to find ways to not limit my output to time, and I really need to find the ability to leverage systems and creating tiers of services that help people access what I have to offer, and also to use those to fund larger projects that I actually can add more value to people's lives. Specifically for the RVC program, what I'm hoping to focus on is accelerating building my startup. So I really need to go from 0 to 10 and to be able to quickly deliver value to people that I'm looking to service, while I'm also working in the background on larger technical capabilities. Specifically, I feel like the RVC program is really reflective of my learning style, which is doing, not regurgitating a textbook. I particularly do well in project-based applications of learning in the past, and I find ways then to quickly optimize this. So the fact that this is a cohort of people, that you've got a dedicated coach and facilitator who can keep me accountable and answer specific questions along the way, is really going to help me create that momentum that I need to be able to break through. So this very much aligns to my long-term aspirations of who I want to be as a person. Growing up, I always wanted to advocate for people and to help them set themselves up. My grandparents are migrants under the White Australia policy, and on the other side, we come from a family of tradespeople. So entrepreneurship, but very much confined to, for the time, small businesses. My parents really saw that as a really difficult path. They really focused on breaking barriers of their own, pushing into corporate, pushing into white-collar jobs. And for me, that's been amazing to witness. However, I do think that there's more ways to add value for what I want to do. I've had a proven ability to do this. I was the first person in my family on my dad's side to finish high school. First person on both sides to go to uni. First to get into law school twice, and I'm only just getting started. I feel like, though, to be able to level up, I really need to look at how I'm actually not capping myself. So, having a career in consulting, I've seen that at a certain level, it gets to about 70 hours a week, and you're absolutely capping yourself out. I know that this is not going to be able to help me really realize my long-term aspirations. When I've taken a step back, for me, that's being a creative entrepreneur, helping people live their healthiest version of themselves and creating a life that they love, not just waiting for it to get there, but actually making that a reality. For me to be able to do this well, I want to be able to live and work globally, support people around the world, but that means that I can't be bound by time or just my availability on certain time zones. I'm fully committed to this. I've already spent the last 8 months building myself and building some systems and honing my skills at presenting, copywriting, facilitating, and advising. This is a way for me to really create a space, hone in and focus on that for myself. It's literally going to be my full-time focus. All the money that I create through this is going to be reinvested into being able to support that vision and help me grow. The keys areas of expertise that I'm really trying to focus on, specifically for this, is digital marketing funnels, really getting an understanding of Facebook, using Instagram, knowing which platforms to use for what. So how do you use Pinterest, Kajabi, Etsy, Gumroad? How am I able to better leverage technical research? SEO, building out my prompt engineering. I'm not too bad on ChatGPT actually, but Midjourney specifically, I've created and sold digital products, but I really need to understand what the infrastructure is around this to help market them and gain traction. Finally, I know that in order to actually be able to scale this, I'm going to have to learn how to digitally delegate. So being able to understand what services are available to me is incredibly important. Why I'm particularly focused though is because I know that it's different when you look at these things or you do some random course online compared to tricks of the trade of people who have done this successfully, repeatedly, and have found the ways to make this with ease. I really think that these skills in this RVC program are vital to help setting myself up to do what I would call like my vision, my purpose, and my highest work for myself and the communities that I serve. So as mentioned, I'm currently working on a health tech startup, and I'm really focused on creating more targeted campaigns to better connect with people in this space who exist outside my sphere. I also want to be able to service their needs once I've been able to acquire their interest and awareness. So being able to, as I'm building my business in the background, servicing those needs and learning about what they actually care about, having that greater analytical information to support the anecdotal information and reflecting that back to them in ways. So they're not waiting for my product to launch, they're getting value straight away. This is incredibly important as well because I think that you need to create a movement. And once you've created this movement using online, being able to create this digital space where you're really owning, that's going to create momentum for me as well, right? So investors are going to look at that and they're like, wow, you've already built this, but they're not reliant on me. I don't want to be reliant on that. I want to be able to have the skills that I can actually continue to build this bootstrapping wise based on the skills that I'm learning here. I'm not starting afresh by no means. I've been dabbling in this idea of entrepreneurship since it was really introduced to me in 2015. Then I got into a competitive exchange program with many other students who went through the UTS Build program. I went to the US to learn about American innovation and entrepreneurship. Being able to see all of these tech players in real life, that I was able to get an appreciation that entrepreneurship isn't just running a small business, the journey that both my grandparents took, but it look and feel differently based on where we are right now in time. I found that then traveling for myself personally and professionally, I was seeing all these people who were digital nomads, right? But they weren't just taking remote jobs. They were actually building their dream life and their career at the same time because they had this knowledge and understanding where you're not trading your time for money, but you're building up these systems. I have built and executed on some of this foundational learning, but I've always felt like I've hit a cap because I haven't had the right person, the right foundational training, or I've only dabbled in bits. For example, I built various social media presences for career coaching. I had 3 seasons of a careers podcast called Creative Corporates that also had its associated Instagram page that did quite well. During lockdown, as part of our Creative Corporates community, we actually sold a COVID cookbook. On Gumroad, I've built a presence on LinkedIn, my personal one-on-one virtual and online coaching, Sage Careers. I'm one of the premium resume reviewers on LinkedIn that people can go use. What I really learned each of those times was just a little bit more, but it was all about how does everything else interlink? What is that foundational understanding around marketing it? Not necessarily just building and selling something. You need to be pushing the right kind of people, the right audience, and being able to understand exactly what they need so you're servicing that, not just guessing what people want or hoping for the best or operating on like a very small sample size. So that's really my story. I think that I've had an incredible career trajectory over the last 5 years in consulting. That has been something which has really shown me the need for this because at a certain level, you're operating where there is no more time in your week. All you're doing is working. Yet you're only capping at the amount of value that you can offer to a certain amount of people at the same amount of time. That didn't really make me feel like I was actually servicing my purpose. I ended up taking a leap of faith and I went freelance earlier this year. So in that process, I actually went through a number of courses to be able to upskill for where I am today. In particular, I went on a Notion super users course to really understand how to build custom Notion templates that actually create and service you as an entrepreneur. What really motivated me to do that was I was listening to a podcast called Holisticism. I was seeing their freebies or their lead magnets, and they were already helping me. They were already giving me value. And so I ended up investing in that course myself, and I very quickly was able to use that and build my own systems to manage myself. Also ended up creating custom portals for my coaching clients where then they were able to self-manage and get some of that value. So with the same company, I ended up purchasing their creative marketing expansion pack. Again, that was really to focus on my skills in copywriting and connect better with my customers. The combination of those things definitely paid off, right? It helped me in my capacity as a freelance strategy and go-to-market consultant for startups, in helping them reposition and connect to their target audience and hone their voice to the market. It already gave me an edge because I wasn't just supporting them through here's some advice like a standard consultant. I could give them something that they could keep using again and again. But to be honest, that capped me too. I felt like I was really good at helping others, but in servicing my own vision, I was only able to do these little parts. So in the last 3 months, as I've been building my health tech startup, I've been really able to see where are those areas that I'm going to be able to need specific training to be able to set up so I can pivot quickly and create this growth engine for myself. I don't want to be stuck at that level that I've seen in my other ventures, right? I'm really motivated to be able to come in and actually give this my best, as myself, as a founder, as a human being who's looking to really realize their purpose. And also to be able to understand for myself is like, what kind of business can you create using these tools where you're not actually relying on outside funding? You're actually a self-sufficient business. You're actually able to reinvest. You're actually able to better connect. And you might build a better business because you've taken this route too. And so I don't want to rule that out in terms of, as I'm building this startup, to think about these two things differently. I want to be able to see how I can apply those things. And that's why I'm so incredibly motivated to my energy, my enthusiasm, and my dedication for the RVC program. I really cannot wait to get started. So I'm really hoping to join as soon as possible. Thank you so much for reviewing my application. Thanks.